Nicholas is in Florida. Hey, Nicholas, how can we help?
Hi, Dave. So my wife and I were almost at the end of baby step 2. We only had a little over $1,000 left, and about 3 weeks ago, our car that we got it from a friend, and he was nice enough to let us pay payments on it. The engine blew, and we had to use our emergency fund and even a little bit of it more to pay him, and we were without work for a week. We tried to look for other solutions, but we felt so stuck, and I did a stupid thing, and I financed a $10,000 car, and I was just going there feeling like it's just what I had to do, which already felt bad enough. And as I was sitting in the finance manager's office, I just remember one of the quotes that you say often, where the borrower is a slave to the lender, and I just, from that moment until now, I just feel so crushed. I feel like I have a big sign that says idiot on my head, and I don't know what to do.
Well, me too, man. I just tried to turn the lights off on the sign. So it's not so obvious. Oh, let's see. Let me get this straight. You did something stupid. Does that mean you are stupid?
No.
No, it doesn't. Because if you didn't realize you did something stupid, and you did something stupid, then you're probably stupid.
Yeah.
The ultimate delineator.
Me too, you know. So what do you do, Ken, when you fall off the wagon?
Well, you dust yourself off.
And you get back on the wagon.
Yeah, but reflect first. I like to add a little step in there. Let's look at, why did I fall off? What drove me to that? And it was fear. You know, I think we've got to understand, we have to learn from these moments. It's not enough just to say, all right, I'm not stupid, and I can get back out of it, because you can, but I want you to examine why you made that decision. What drove you to making a nonsensical decision? It's not even stupid. You weren't in a place of clarity.
While you were doing it, you knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
So what's happening in your head that allows you to do that? Because if you don't fix that part, to Ken's point, you'll do it again, right?
Yeah, that's what we want to reflect on. So what drove you? What was your driver?
I mean, we need a car for our work, and we just felt like there was nothing else. We wanted to get another cheap car like our one before, but we just had this feeling like we would go into the same thing where it would also break again, and we would just be going into this cycle. We are planning as of right now to pay this one off within a year, but I knew that even with that, I just felt like there was something better, but a better option.
Well, and I'm not going to pick this apart, but I just want to speak to the fear, because you were afraid it was going to happen again. It's like being afraid you're going to get struck by lightning twice, and the odds of that are very, 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 very slim. Did you get the first car, the one from your buddy? Did you have a mechanic look it over before you agreed to buy it?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We had mechanics. We had friends that are familiar with cars.
Okay.
They said that it was okay. It was still fine. I mean, it was a 2007 Kia, so it's seen some days. But overall, the people who were looking at it said it was all right. But we drive a lot, so
sure. Well,
I guess it was just this time.
So here's the deal. So a bad thing happened. Life happens. Okay, you did what you needed to do there. You weren't reckless, it seems, and so something still happened. You know, it was bad, and something bad happened. And so now what you did is you compounded a bad situation by going and getting a $10,000 loan for a car. And there was another way. I'll bet there were 2 or 3 other ways. And that's what I want you to reflect on, is that even in those moments where you feel like there's no other way, pause.
There always is.
There's another way. Sleep on it. Get about 5 other opinions. You just needed some feedback. You needed to pause.
Yeah.
That's what the lesson is.
Rent a car, buy a $1,000 car. The thing about $1,000 cars is they're throwaways.
Mm-hmm.
They're disposable. $10,000 cars aren't. So here's your challenge, and here's what you got to figure out. Okay, is what is going to take you long term to where you want to go. And I don't mean transportation wise. I mean in terms of the decision making and principles that you're using with money, what's going to take you where you want to go. When Sharon and I went broke, we became thorough believers 30 years ago that borrowing money was not going to take us where we wanted to go. And so every time we were painted into a corner, every time we were backed into a corner with someone pointing a metaphorical gun at our face and said, okay, the only way out of this is borrow. The only way out of this is get a $10,000 car. Every time we just said, we can't borrow money. We changed our belief about what is going to cause us to win. And borrowing money was no longer on that list. And so we never again, because we no longer believe that, we never again have borrowed money. And so the problem is that your belief was tested and you didn't believe that the best way, and you thought instead, your 4-year-old kid that lives inside of all of us said, well, you're always going to be driving a junk car. No, you're not. You drive a junk car. You drive like no one else, so later you can drive like no one else. You know what I drive now? Anything I want. You know why? Because I drove crap
for a long time
with Bondo as the primary color.
Yes.
And so I drove like no one else. Now I can drive like no one else. And so you gotta believe that that's actually going to occur, and then you can go back into a piece of crap when your other piece of crap breaks.
That's right. Well, let's talk about belief.
But it's temporary.
Yes. See, when you talk about you and Sharon saying we are not going to choose debt,
ever.
So we're in a corner ever. So here's what happens. When you focus on never, ever, ever, ever again having debt, guess what happens?
You get tempted.
Certain options are removed.
Yeah.
And other options appear. So this is a focus thing. So and again, we're not picking on him at all.
We've all been crap.
Oh, yeah.
As a result.
Listen,
well over a year and a half.
First 4 years of our marriage, Stacy and I's marriage, I drove a
year and a half.
Ford Taurus that didn't have AC in Tennessee.
But it wasn't for 30 years.
No,
it was for a year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I'm old. A year and a half ain't much.
Well, the situation here is he began to say, well, debt's an option. I don't want it to be an option, but it's an option. I don't want it to be an option. I feel bad about it, but it's an option. And then it became the option. And it wasn't the option.
Yeah. Your emotions take over instead of your beliefs.
You got to focus on other things.
What I think you need to do is you need to sit down and reevaluate what you really believe is going to cause you to win with money.
Yep.
Is it the stuff we teach? If it is, then this has to be a one-time thing. And by the way, if that's the case, sell the car. Get rid of the debt now. Undo the problem. Because every time you get in that thing, you're going to feel like you screwed up because you screwed up.